I have the guest of honor, the woman of the evening, the lady of the evening with me, Saaz Aggarwal. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bhavna.
I'm so proud of her and the book is looking beautiful. Hi guys, welcome to the Sindhi Film Festival. So Saaz Aggarwal is a writer and she has written a book about Sindhi culture. Previously her book was titled Sindh: The Stories from a Vanished Homeland. I'll put the book cover here. Today is a book launch of her new book. She has written a book on Amils, the Sindhi Amils. I am very excited for this because I've been wanting to see her. It's been ages since I last saw her and I'm so proud of this new book, you know, like every time someone writes a book I'm like damn proud because I know how long it takes to write and then to edit, and there are so many drafts that happen. So yeah, quite proud of you, Saaz. It's in Lower Parel, the book launch in Bombay, and I'm headed there. Let's go to her book launch.
Now I would like to invite our Vice President of the Khudabadi Amil Panchayat, Mr. Chandraban Ramchandani, to please lead the three ladies, Miss Maya Shahani, Miss Saaz Aggarwal and Miss Sonia Gidwani, onto the dais.
I want to start by thanking the Khudabadi Amil Panchayat, in particular Chandru Thadani, who commissioned me to write this book, and Nandita Bhavnani, recommended me, so I'm really grateful to them. And I have to say a very, very big thank you to Sonia, who's here. She saw it through. I can see faces here, many of you whom I know because I know a bit about your family since I interviewed you and you told me your stories. And a very big thank you to all of you as well. I've enjoyed this, I've enjoyed writing this book very much. It's been 3 years. Knowing about how the community gathered and became a force in Sindh, and at the peak how it was shattered by partition and how the community contributed to the new nation of India in such an amazing, tremendous way. It's been a very big privilege for me.
I overheard a conversation between some young people. So one of them was saying that my mother always tells me I should marry a Khudabadi Amnu, whatever that is. So the other young guy tells him, but who on earth gets married these days? So I don't know if we are living in a dream world or our children are living in a dream world, but I really want these young people to read Saaz's book because it's really something out of this world, and they learn so much. They'll really learn to be proud of being Sindhi.
And we got to know more about this project. We felt it was the answer to a hidden desire in our family to contribute to making known and appreciated by the Sindhi new generation all over the world about the Sindhi culture and its heritage and history. As children, we grew up in a traditional Sindhi home. We spoke Sindhi, we were exposed to Sindhi customs, and we loved Sindhi cuisine. Our late parents, who were zamindars from pre-partition Sindh, often told us very nostalgic stories of their homeland. which fascinated me and in fact it left in me a burning desire to know more and more about Sindh and our culture and our homeland. The Amils of Sindh is a very interesting, well-written and extensively researched book. She has also added some very old and rare photographs which really make the book a pictorial journey. I feel very glad and happy that Sindhis all over the world will soon be enlightened and enriched when they read the stories, the real life stories that she has covered in this book.
I'm very thankful for all of you to be here today. We have gone a long way with this book. We are trying to do and cover most of the families. I would like to call now on stage my committee and my colleagues. I request Saaz to read anything she would like.
With his professional and social position, Hochand had been given the authority to clear passengers travelling across the new border. His NOCs meant that the person could leave the country without police interference. Ali advised Hochand to leave Sindh immediately. Hochand boarded the train from Karachi to Hyderabad at the end of the day. The warrant had been issued in the morning, and newspapers next day announced that eminent lawyer Hochand Advani had been arrested. You recognize who we're talking about? Yes. One of the notable achievements of the HSN Hyderabad Sindh National Collegiate Board is that in the 1950s, when KC College came up, Muslim families from nearby Bhendi Bazaar began sending their daughters to study there because they trusted it as a safe environment.
Thank you, everyone.
Now I have Chandrabhan Ramchandani with me. He is the Vice President of Khudabadi Amil Panchayat. Why did you commission this book?
We wanted our youngsters to understand what our forefathers have gone through and how much trouble and hardships they faced when they were facing partition.
Guys, I'm going to do a book review on this book very soon, so watch out for that. I am so lucky to get to meet Maya Shahani. I want to ask you, in the book launch talk that you talked, I loved how beautifully you talked about different snippets from the book. It was fascinating to know that you have read, even glanced at 700 pages of the book. What is your favorite thing about the book?
Well, the favorite thing is that I was amazed at the deep research that Saaz has done. It's really impossible to cover so many families in depth and write so authentically about their history and background. And then there's so many things that we would never have known if Saaz hadn't done this deep research. And I loved it for its transparency and the way she really covers situations and things and the Amil ethos and culture in a way that brings out, she has this way of drawing out the best from you. Sure. She digs deep and she really wants to know everything, so that this legacy can be passed on to the future generations. I think this is going to be a treasure trove for the next generation. Yeah. And actually I'm glad the book has come out in English because the current generation knows how to read and write English mainly. Yeah. So for them, the larger audience, this book would be perfect.
Out of curiosity, I want to ask you, do you think Sindhi language has hope? Will it survive? Because there are so many talks of the language dying.
The language was dying earlier because the previous generation was so busy just surviving and taking care of themselves, and they didn't have any time to think about literature and culture because it was ingrained in them, so they weren't missing out on anything. But the now generation, they feel they're absolutely ruthless and rudderless. They don't know what their family background is like. The younger generation now is feeling that they're missing out on something. When they have their friends, they're speaking in their own language, the Marathis and the Gujaratis and the Marwaris, they're all speaking their own mother tongue. We are the only form of culture. We are the only culture that has really lost its own roots. If the language is lost, then everything is lost. So then I think because the now generation, they've had too much of everything too fast. They're saying, now what? So now you're young, you must be feeling the same.
Exactly.
So now you do want to go back to your roots, because unless you don't have your roots, how will you grow as a tree? So it's very important to go back to our culture and history, and this book is going to be the link for that.
Beautiful. Thank you for your time. It was nice talking to you. Thank you. I have the guest of honor, the woman of the evening, the lady of the evening with me, Saaz Aggarwal. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bhavna.
I'm so proud of her, and the book is looking beautiful.
Thank you so much.
I
Pride is a sin, by the way. Let's not be
We're
proud.
talking about sins now. So, how do you feel?
Happy, calm. Need to move on.
Oh dear, that's how it feels, right? When you finish the book and like you're done with that.
No, I enjoyed writing it. It's an amazing book, amazing story. I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to meet all these amazing people, record their stories, put it together. A lot of them knew a little bit, but I think what I really enjoyed was putting it all together and making a thing out of it. It was otherwise just scraps, and a lot of it was imagined or not really tangible. So I think that's what I enjoyed the most.
700 pages. I mean, phenomenal job. More than 700 pages.
I suppose we could have cut out some, but the thing is, what I wanted to do was have stories which had some charm in them, which were easy to read, and which left you with a feeling of what those people were like, what they were thinking, what they felt, So that's why it's so long. It's not just facts; it's also stories, people.
Right. Okay, I want to do a full-fledged interview with you. This book, which we will do soonish.
Yeah.
Lovely. I want to ask you, where can people buy this book?
So as of now, we have a donor, and she has printed around 2,000 copies, and she's distributing them free. So anyone who wants a copy until those get over just has to send an email to an ID, which is blackandwhitefountain@gmail.com.
I will put the email ID in the description box below again for people who missed out, and I'll also put it on the screen, so don't worry.
So they're collecting all the addresses they get in a database, and they'll dispatch them. They'll start doing them that next week. So sooner the better. Once the copies run out, then we'll have to think about it. Yeah.
And on
On
behalf
Amazon internationally.
Is it?
Lovely.
Okay, yeah. On behalf of the entire Sindhi community, I want to thank you for documenting a part of the Sindhi community. It feels
just
amazing.
a privilege. It's a gift for me, and I think all of us are so lucky that we had ancestors who were as strong and as resilient as they were, especially one generation and maybe two generations above us. And those wounds, they never acknowledged, they were never healed. And I think we're so lucky that we have. That's a big legacy that we have. Thank you, Bhavna.
Most welcome. Her book, Stories from the Vanished Homeland, and this, I am very excited for the interview coming soon. Please watch out for that. Thank you. See you soon. Congratulations. So now I have Sonia Gidwani with me. She has sponsored the book and has co-hosted the launch. I want to ask you, why were you interested in sponsoring this book, which is so beautiful?
When I got to know more about this project, we felt that, it was the answer to a hidden desire in our family to contribute to making the Sindhi culture and the Sindhi heritage known to the new generation of Sindhis across the world. We wanted them to appreciate what it was, and we wanted to bring the knowledge of their heritage to all of them.
Lovely. That sounds so good, and I'm so happy that this book is in English because it serves the purpose right now. Not everybody knows to read and write in Sindhi Arabic script, but the generation today does want to know about their past.
You know, these are real life stories of people, and I feel you get a deeper insight when you go through people's actual experiences about how they lived in Sindh and the life in Sindh. And especially since we do not have our homeland, it's important that the new generation knows about it.
Thank you. I have three fantastic women with me. Sunita, Pramila, Ratan. They have been featured in this book and I can't wait to read this book. I just want to, first of all, thank you all for contributing to this book. I'm sure it has enriched the book further. How was your experience like when you were talking to Saaz about the stories that have been, contributed by you?
I was very moved because I was also very, these are stories that have not been told. They were told to me. I had sometimes talked about it maybe with another family member. So to be able to talk openly about it and to maybe to put it all together for the first time for myself as well, because it was about an uncle and then about a cousin who I'd met after 60 years of life. Wow. I realized that I had a cousin in Germany and stuff like that. So it was a very, it was breathtaking for me. Yeah, it was really amazing. So I really loved it.
Thank you.
When Saaz contacted me, she was already practically at the end of the book. And we all live our daily lives all very hectic and don't think about the past, but it got me thinking about my past and the stories I'd heard growing up. And then I started looking for information and discovered all these photographs from my mother's side of the family, which I didn't even know existed. And so it was very exciting to learn more about the family, which I didn't even know, or some things that I knew but got more information on. So I found that quite a fascinating journey.
Wow, thank you. And Ratan?
Yeah, and Saaz asked me to share with her, the achievements that I made as a tennis player when I was very much younger. And
she was a national tennis champion.
In 1963, I won the national.
Oh my God.
And since not many Sindhis are in the sports, I thought it was good that it be featured in a book, and most Sindhis know that Sindhis do play sports.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, even in the arts, I think both are.
In the arts,
Slightly,
in professions, but in sports there are very few.
Correct. So profession and business, everybody knows.
Yeah. Now, all three of you are Amil women. What do you feel about your legacy, about your heritage of being passed on traditions, of being passed on years of Amil title and educational legacy?
Well, for me, I'm still discovering a lot about Amils. Obviously, we were brought up with we are Amils, and you have to be educated. We're the people for education, and those in that generation when I was young, it was very new because we were the only people apparently in the Sindhi community. The breakdown of it, where we are the educated people. But there was a bit of slurry involved, I thought, which I didn't discover much later, which I am not so sure I like.
Yeah.
But I think that's more or less now a thing of the past, because as someone said earlier on, everybody's educated nowadays.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, there are other things I'm sure I will discover, and I think I'm just starting out on it. So
fantastic.
Well, I always felt very strongly about family ties, but an extended family also, and I was able to keep in touch with people because I traveled a lot. But to be quite honest, I didn't think too much about, the Amil history or anything like that. But it's interesting to learn, and I'm hoping to learn more from the book, which I believe the entire history is there of how they came to.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
We've grown up with hearing stories from our parents, and it's sort of built in you that you are of this community. But we were not very aware growing up, since we were out of Karachi and not in that atmosphere. And so this book is really fascinating for us to find out more and also revisit what we had vaguely heard when we were young.
True. For me, it's a fantastic journey because I'm not an Amil woman. I was born in a Shikarpuri family, and I have spent my whole life studying. Education has been the only thing that I've had to do up till now. And just knowing that Amils were, education and Bhaibans were business, these boundaries are not as strong as they used to be. The differences, I think, are very porous. I think all Sindhis today know the value of education. So yeah, this is a fantastic book, and I'm so happy that you've contributed into this book. I'm going to read it. Get back to you girls.
Great, enjoy it. Happy reading.
Thank you. I am so excited to have received my autographed copy. and I hope you guys will also get a copy for yourselves. If not anything, it's worth having this book in your library for sure. I mean, more than 700 pages. Just imagine the amount of information, knowledge, insights, experiences, stories this book contains. It has been a beautiful evening and I have enjoyed every minute of it, meeting so many people, talking to so many people. And this institute, ISMI Institute by Indu Shahani, what a beautiful institute it is. Wow, I really like it. It has taken me back to my London days. It's reminding me of University of London, Saaz, how I used to chill there, how I used to teach my students there, and it's just beautiful. Oh my god, Ismi, you've done a good job. I would love to work with you. I know this has been a long video, but I hope you enjoyed meeting a lot of people through my vlog, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the book launch. I'm so happy and tired. Congratulations once again, Saaz. And people, if you liked this video, you know what to do. Please give it a thumbs up, press the like button below the video, subscribe to the channel Sindhi Film Festival for more such vlogs and book launches and, you know, just good stuff in general, Sindhi stuff. Hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.